Good morning. Welcome to the Dharma Yoga practice. As always, please respect your limitations, and you can do the variations, of course, if you feel comfortable with them and you're familiar with the practice. Otherwise, please respect your limitations and remember the practice is an offering. So what you feel is to an extent affecting everyone. So try to feel good through the practice so that you transmit that positive energy and those positive benefits to all beings everywhere. So on that note, let's begin. Sit up tall and straight, close the eyes, and bring the attention inward. Nothing to do, nothing to seek. Everything we need is already within. Let's begin with the sound of Om 3 times to attract divine attention. Imagine you are everywhere. Fix your mind on God alone. Rest your mind in God alone. And in God you will live hereafter. Of this there is no doubt. Om Namah Shivaya, about the inner light. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah May all beings everywhere be happy and free from suffering and enjoy this practice through our senses. May we always have a strong desire for the knowledge that liberates us from pain and suffering. And may we cherish no ill feelings against each other. Only peace, love, joy, and compassion. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. So we're going to do the seed mantras. Seed mantras are associated with the seed mantras are associated with each of the chakras, the main energy centers along the central psychic channel. It's coincident with the spine. They call it the Sushumna Nadi. Each of these chakras there's 7 of them all along this central channel. And just imagine as we're chanting the seed mantras associated with each of them, that we're opening up the gates. And when the gates are open, and when the energy is ready to rise, it'll go right up to the top, and it is said that when it reaches the crown, that's when you can experience divine bliss. But in order for the energy to rise, we have to be in strict observance of the ethical rules. That is like the prerequisite. So all the more reason to just act in a way that doesn't kill the comfort of any being. We're starting at the root and going up. So as you're doing it, just concentrate on that gate in that area, and we'll give you a color to focus on as well. So just 7 tones, the same seed mantra for each of them. Okay, so there's a term for each chakra. Starting at the base of the spine, Muladhara, the color is red. Lam, 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 lam. Repeat. Lam, 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 lam. Next, going to the sacral chakra, Svadhisthana, color is orange. Vam, 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 vam. Vam, 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 vam. Next, going to the navel chakra, Manipura, color is yellow. Ram, 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 ram. Ram, 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 ram. Next, the heart, Anahata, the color is green. Yum, 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 yum. Yum, 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 yum. Go to the base of the throat. The color is blue, Vishuddha. Here. Hum, 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 hum. Hum, 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 hum. Next, go to the space between the eyebrows, center the forebrow. The color is indigo. This is Agnya, so the sound now. Indigo. Om, 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 om. Om, 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 om. Now the crown, one long sustained Om. The color is violet. Sahasrara. So imagine all the colors coming together form a pure white light. But the color that you focus on is violet, but just imagine them all coming together. The Om contains all the sounds and colors and vibrations of the universe. So just concentrate, focus on the infiniteness of that ultimate mantra. Once again, long and deep. Feels like you're trying to make the sound reach the ends of the universe. Inhale. Now to establish a deep connection with the divine essence within, the highest self. Bring the arms up, the palms slightly facing up, spiritual breathing. So we're going to inhale through the arms for a count of 8. Imagine you're drawing in the best universe. Bring it right to the center of the chest and the right side of the physical heart. This is the spiritual heart. Hold the breath and the attention there for 6 counts. Exhale out through the arms, send out just the breath. Everything that you pulled in stays in. Close the eyes now. Inhale down into the heart. Flood yourself the best. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Holding in the heart. Hold it as offering to God, the highest self within. 5, 6. Exhale out through the arms. Just the breath leaves. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale again. Attract everything that you need. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hold the goodness in the spiritual heart. 4, 5, 6. Exhale again out through the arms. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Last time. Inhale. Use your attention to attract everything that you need. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hold it in the heart. Hold the breath. Exhale out through the arms. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Release the arms down now. Keep your eyes closed for a moment. Just meditate upon the goal of yoga, which is self-realization. Through the practice, we gain the experiences, we gain the knowledge that we need in order to break the patterns that cause pain and suffering. And when we have that knowledge, think of that as an obligation to share it with others so we can help them along their path, along in their struggles as well. Have no judgment for those who are maybe experiencing difficulty and who are turning it into negative actions, thoughts, and words. We all pass through the same thing. So imagine through this practice, we're benefiting all beings now, bringing the body in a state of radiant health so that all may feel the radiant health as well, gain those benefits. Even if they're not practicing, we transmit it to them psychically so they can attain those good effects. So we move the joints every day. We try to have a healthy diet. For food is like living prana. It's the closest thing to prana we have in the physical form outside the body. So if we bring in good energy and good vital force, that's going to only help us. So move the joints every day. Adhere to a diet that is ahimsa diet, which doesn't bring about harm and pain and suffering to any being. And then through that, we create good life force for us to carry out our mission of helping others reach self-realization. So on that note, let's begin the practice. Let's come to standing. All right. So, starting off with some exercise to prepare the body for the practice. But before that, let's do the mantra for purification, to purify the space, the ground, and all the psychic channels within. If you know it, you can do it along with me. If not, just imagine you're chanting through the voice of the Guru and you derive all the benefits as though you're chanting it perfectly. Om pavitraha pavitra va sawa vashtanga topi va yaha smrit pandritaksham sabaya vyantraha sajihi. Om pavitraha pavitra va sawa vashtanga topi va yaha smrit pandritaksham sabaya vyantraha sajihi. Om pavitraha pavitra va sawa vashtanga topi va yaha smrit pandrikaksham sabaya vyantraha sajihi. Release the arms. Now open up your feet. We'll do the exercise now to prepare the body for the practice. Start to turn from one side to the other. Feel as though the arms were heavy ropes. Throw them around the body. Good. Slow it down. Bring your hands onto the hips. Circle the head. Make large circles. If it's better for you to do half circles, go ahead. Just try to bring the ears to shoulders, the chin across the chest. Those here doing a full circle. The back of the head touches the top of the back. And then switch the direction. If you're doing a half circles, you can start from one ear, roll the head back and try to get to the other ear, and then reverse. Full circle, try to see the floor in all directions as the head moves around. And then conclude, right arm, 4 circles forward, 4 circles back. Go back. If you're having trouble with your shoulders, you can always support with your left hand on the shoulder, and then forward again. And back. Feel as though you're holding a weight to 5 pounds in your arm. One more time. Forward. And back. Left arm. And back. And forward again. And back. Release. Arms up over the head. Take all the opposite elbows. Go from side to side. Come back to the center. Little circles over the head, starting with mostly with the head and neck and shoulders moving only. Then add the chest and the upper back into the movements. Finally, the whole torso circles. Dive down. Large circles. Feel like an airplane propeller on the tip of on the nose of the airplane. Good. And one more. Come right back up and then go the other direction. Starting off with little circles at first. Gradually getting larger, the chest and the upper back come into the movement. Finally, the whole torso. Use momentum in the downswing to carry you gracefully and smoothly through the whole rotation. Come all the way up and release. Shake out the wrists, move the fingers very, very rapidly. Look as though you have no control over the hands, they're moving all by themselves. And up and down. Good. Next one, lion's breath. Make like you're pouncing like a lion. Your eyes go wide, your tongue hangs out of the mouth. And when you squat, you just come down to the level that you can. If you can't go down all the way, just go according to your condition. If you have a wall or a chair, you might might help a little bit. You can place your left hand on the chair or the wall, swing the right leg back and forth. Lean forwards and get your knee to the shoulder perhaps. If you're very flexible, maybe the shin will come right to the head. Throw it behind. Head goes back as well. It's good for loosening the hip. Modify as you need to. Change sides. You can bring your other hand on a wall or turn around. Eventually you might look like you're going to kick yourself in the head from behind. And then release. Okay, so now let's come to the front of the mat. Bring your hands to the heart. Close the eyes. Come back to the intention of offering up all the fruits of the practice. Imagine this as your divine duty to all beings everywhere. So imagine you moving with all beings at once, like a school of fish to deliver benefits to all beings. Raise your arms up over the head, arch back as you see fit. Fold forward, bend your knees if you need to bring hands flat on the ground, chest on your thighs. Right foot back, lower down knee, push back through the right heel. So you feel stretch from the heel all the way to the ground, into the high plank. Lower down the knees, bring the seat all the way back behind the heels. Glide forward, pull yourself forward through between your arms, chest forward, head back. Come all the way back, the seat back behind the heels. Come forward again. Make as though you're trying to pull forward towards your body. Propel yourself forward with more power and ease. Come all the way back, the seat behind the heels. Brush your nose to the ground. Come forward and up into cobra, shoulders back, neck long. Roll over your toes, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Allow the heart to melt, the head comes down below the arms. Right foot forward. Drop down to the back knee, push the seat in, hips low. Come into high plank, and now high plank Uttanasana, pull the body down onto your legs, head down. Come right to standing. Arch the back as you see fit, lean back, hands back to the heart. Can go according to your condition and your comfort level and your abilities. Reach up and back. Engage the buttocks. Go back, the upper back. Come forward and down into Uttanasana. Left foot back, push back through the left heel. Lower down the seat into plank. Lower down the knees, the seat all the way back. Glide forward. Don't worry about the breath. Just move the body in a way that feels natural. That allows the breath to remain steady and even. And uniform. All the way back again. Come forward. Make like a snake creeping through the grass, lifting up its head to peer out at the world. All the way back. Try to imitate the forms the best that you can. Tap into the divine qualities, which are the qualities, all the divine qualities that God manifests through us. Adho Mukha Svanasana, bring the left foot forward, lower the back knee down, sink down to the seat. If it's hard to get your foot to your hand, you can lower the right knee down first and use your left hand to assist the foot forward. Then bring the feet together, chest on the thighs, head down again. Come right up to stand and reach up and back. Hands back to the heart, Pranayama. Raise your arms up. Go down, Uttanasana. Fold the body in half, head close to the ground. Right foot back. Lower down knees, sink down to the seat. Into the plank. Knees, chest, forehead down, Ashtanga Namaskara. Come right through this time into the cobra and immediately into downward facing dog. Just right away. Bring a seat back. Allow the line in the back to soften. Right foot forward to the hand. Sink down to the seat. Feet come together. Uttanasana. Pull the body to the legs. Come right up to standing. Come back home. Hands to the heart. Go up again. Pretend you're the witness, watching the body move all by itself. Watching the mind reactions, watching even the emotions with no judgment. Left foot back. Just as God, the supreme witness who's watching us, with unconditional love, no matter what the form, no matter what the being. into cobra, back into downward facing dog. Lift the feet up and back. Left foot steps forward. Softly to the hands. No big heavy thuds, footfalls. Feet together, Uttanasana. Come right to stand, reach up and back. Hands back to the heart. Raise your arms up over the head. Come forward and down into Uttanasana. Right foot back. This time do not bring the back knee down. Keep it lifted. Press back through the heel. Into high plank. Option here. Bring the seat back without, keep your knees up. Now push the toes, push the heels, your palms, draw the elbows in close to your body and swing right into upward facing dog without dropping your legs to the ground. Now come all the way back again 2 more times. Starting like a frog squat and then pull right through. If it's too much, just do the one that we did before with your knees on the ground, your hips sliding down along the mat. 1 more time. Pull the elbows close in, push with heels, your palms, the base of the toes, upward facing dog. Downward facing dog, melt the heart. Right foot steps forward to the hands, drop down to the seat. Feet come together, Uttanasana. Pull the body against the legs, a gesture of humility. Come right back up. Hands back to the heart. Hasta Uttanasana. Open yourself up to divine grace. Pull the body down again, a gesture of humbleness. Left foot back. Think about every movement. The intention is into high plank. Bring the seat all the way back and the knees up, and then see again if you come right through to upward facing dog. All the way back. All the postures reflecting devotion, however. Surrender to the highest self, into service to others. All the way back again. See if you can pull right through into upward facing dog or modify it if you need to make it accessible to you. Downward facing dog. Left foot forward. Back knee stays up. Keep pressing back through the right heel. And then the feet come together. Uttanasana. Pull the body to your legs. Come right into standing. Reach up and back. Hands back to the heart. Again, raise your arms up. Go down. This time, lift the hand, chest, press into your hands. You can either hop or walk back. Bend your elbows as you're going down so you don't land with a big heavy thud. Into upward facing dog if you can, or stay in cobra. Shimmy your hips further forward. Push your shoulders back, your head up, your nose up to the sky like a dog howling at the moon. Copy the forms on all levels, mentally, physically, even emotionally. Roll over your toes back into downward facing dog. Here in downward facing dog. Just melt the heart. Try to get your head below the arms. Try not to bend your arms. Melt your shoulders down. The back of the body should look like a slide at the playground. Steep at the top, shallow at the bottom. Try again to keep your arms straight and push the floor away from you. Now from here, getting ready to come up off your heels. Bend your knees up to the hands. Hold your breath and bring your feet forward if you're jumping, or just walk your feet forward. Pull the body down onto your legs. Come right up to standing. Hands back to the heart. Up again. Reach up. Stretch the whole front of the body. Approach your true nature, which is boundless. Limitlessness potential. Uttanasana. Lift the hand, chest. Hold the breath. Bend your elbows and come back softly into upward facing dog. This time trying to oscillate between the 2 poses, upward and downward. In a transition, round your back, tuck the chin. Feels like you're pushing the heart right between your shoulder blades, and then down. Chest comes towards the ground. Now come forward again. Round your back, tuck the tailbone. Shoulder blades falling away from each other, and then in the upward facing dog, the shoulders come together. Chest bursting right through the rib cage. Back the other way. Round your back, tuck the chin. Back into downward facing dog. Make like a dog, loyal to its master in this shape. And then once again, forward. Roll over your toes. Round your back. Upward facing dog. Flex the spine. Back the other way. Round your back. Tuck the chin and melt the heart in every sense. Just like a dog melts its heart and gives its heart fully to its master. Be the same way. Embody those characteristics, those divine characteristics of that dog. Now from here, lift the heels, bend the knees, lift the hands. Bring your feet forward, hopping or walking. Pull the body down onto your legs. Come right up to standing, reach up and back. Hands back to the heart. Good. Now 2 more. A little bit faster. Arms up. Pull the body down. Back into chaturanga, hopping and walking into upward facing dog. Back into downward facing dog. Lift heels, bend the knees. Bring your feet forward again. Pull the body down onto your legs. Right up to standing. Hands back to the heart. Just watch the body moving by itself. Reach up and back. Pull the body down onto your legs. Gesture of humbleness. Lift hand, chest. Land softly into chaturanga or on your belly. Upward facing dog or cobra. Downward facing dog. Lift heels, bend the knees. Bring your feet forward. Pull the body to your legs. Come right up to standing. And bring it back home, hands to the heart. Take pause here for a moment. From the solar plexus, your source of inner power. Inhale that inner power all the way up to the crown. Imagine that you're sending it all out throughout to all beings, to empower all beings. Exhale back down to the solar plexus. Keep that channel open and always supplying the supply that you're giving to all beings at the top with your own source. Now come back to the middle of the mat. We'll do some balance poses now. Starting off with tree pose actually. Bring your left foot down, or stand on your left foot, bring the right foot up. You can either just do your regular tree, of course, with your foot against the inner thigh, just somewhere not too long, just somewhere either below or above the knee, not against it. Or you can stand against the wall if you're having trouble bouncing, or if you have a lotus, go ahead and go into your lotus. If you want, you can lean forward, reach around with the right hand and see if you can take hold of your big toe and come back up. Left hand comes to your heart. If you can't reach the foot, you can hold the foot with your left hand and just bring your hand to the elbow, the right hand, okay, just like this. You can also extend your left arm if you have the bind. If you're in regular tree, pull both arms up. Look like a tree, strong and steady and straight. Keep growing up, higher towards the sun. Now from here, bring a left hand down to the foot. From here, bring your foot out in front. See if you can extend the leg straight out in front. Drop the right hip, make sure the right hip's not riding up. Push out to the base of the toe and bring the right arm back. If it's too much to extend your leg, you just hold on to the outside of the knee with your foot hanging down towards ground below the knee. Okay? Good. Now come forward again. Now from here, bend the legs so you can take hold of the foot again. More challenging this one, head to knee pose. So push into your foot, push your hips back and extend your legs straight out in front, about the height of the hip, no higher. And then if you can, you can bring your nose to the shin. If again it's too much, you don't have to extend your leg, just keep your foot, push your foot down into hands. Release, come back up. It's a good pose to cultivate determination. Now the other side. Bring your left foot into whichever variation of tree you like. The lotus if you like that, with your knee pointing down. And then again, make your way into tree pose. If you have the good balance, you can look up. Spread the toes, make as though, imagine they're the roots of your tree holding you steady, feeding you with the nutrients from the earth. Then from here, get ready for the next pose. Keep your gaze steady. Always try to move through the sequences like a shapeshifter, moving with effortlessness. If you can, extend the leg out. You have to push through the base of the big toe. Try Try to have your shoulders over the hips. Left arm can reach back. If you had the balance, you can eventually look back towards your left hand. Keep your left hip down. Make sure your left hip is not jutting up. So you want to roll the hip down. Push it again through the base of the toe to help keep your balance better. And then turn forward. Bend your knee. And either stay, try to rest your belly on your thigh. Push your heel down into your hands. If you can, extend the legs straight out. Push your hips back. Like your hips are behind your heel almost. Your forearms to your shin. Maybe your nose comes to your shin eventually too. And then release, bring the foot down and come back up. Okay, so now come to the back end of the mat. So toppling tree or eagle. If you want to do eagle, your arms come out to the side. If you have more flexibility in your shoulders, you can interlace your fingers and open up the palms. Left foot steps forward, lean forward. So option here, you can just keep your leg, bring your leg straight out, straight line from the foot to the head. You can also take your arms apart like this, airplane. And then if you feel ready, you can bend down a little bit. Your head above the height of the knee. Try to get your right leg up higher. And arms out to the side. Imagine you're a soaring eagle, gliding through the air at great speed. If you're doing a toppling tree, you interlace your fingers, you pull them over your shoulders. Try to get your foot higher than the head. Curve your spine. Release the hands, bring the left hand down, Adho Chandrasana. Open up to the right if you can. If this is too much and you don't have a block near you, you can come down onto your knee and just do it from here. So you can always find different ways to make the practice more adaptable to your ability. Raise right leg up higher if you like. Bend the knee, tickle the foot while it's close to your seat. And then push the foot up. It should feel like blow pose. Stretch from the body. Bring the right shoulder and the right hip back in line with the left shoulder and hip. More advanced practitioners can look forward and see if you can get your left hand up off the ground. Hold the breath. Make sure your left hip is over the foot. Take your hand to the heart. Now break the pose, pull heel towards the seat if you have it, and bring the foot back down. Come back up. Let's try again on the other side. Again, take your arms up to the side if you like. Walk your right foot forward. Hinge down, head above the height of the knee. You can start an airplane. Arms out to the side. Imagine you're lying on a table, nice and flat. Or when you feel ready, you can start to lean down a little bit. Your belly, bend your right knee so your belly can rest on the thigh. Take the head forward and up. Take the left leg up back a little bit more. If you lose your balance, you can bring your index fingers to the ground. Maybe it's easier to come here first with the leg lifted and then fix your point on the gaze, your gaze on a point. And then bring arms out to the side or join them together. Interlacing your fingers and pull them higher over your shoulders. Point your toes. Release the hands, bring the right hand down, drop in front of your right foot. About a foot or so, not too close, otherwise you won't give yourself space. You want to create as much space as possible. Imagine you're a starfish. Open up to your left. Bring the left leg up higher. I can stay here, or you can bend your knee. Take the foot while it's close to the seat, and then push the foot up into your hand away from the body. Push your hips forward, your left shoulder and your left hip go back a little Knees up towards the sky. If you want, you can look forward again. Make sure your right hip is over the right heel. Hold your breath. And see if you can get the right hand onto your heart. Break the pose. Pull the heel in towards the seat. And come back down. Good. Now, come to the middle of the mat. Facing out the long edge of the mat. Fingertips together. Jump your feet apart. Go to your left. See if you can sink down as low as you can so your knee comes over the toes. If you swing your right hand down, the fingers might touch the ground. Strong, long lines like a warrior. Now from here, you can bring your left forearm onto your left thigh. Depending where your hip is, on your flexibility, might be easier to do. This might be the pose for you. Make sure your hip's not jutting up. Press it down. Sink the hip. Right arm goes over the head. Straight line from the foot all the way to the hand. If you're more flexible, left hand can come right to the ground. If you know how to take a bind or even half a bind, you can. Bring right arm behind the back. You can take your hand to the inside of the thigh, roll the right shoulder back. Keep pushing the left shoulder against the knee, or get your left shoulder right on the inside of the knee. Left arm goes underneath the leg, right hand behind your back. So from here, I'll show it this way. Make sure you're not binding over the seat. That makes it quite a bit more difficult to take the bind. Keep your hand close to just to your left side of your seat. Push the right shoulder back. From here, bring hands down to the ground. Turn forward, lower the knee down, find out the toes and roll to your right. Try to get your right forearm, right hip to come down. Roll to your left. Left shoulder, left side of the seat sinks down. So make sure the left side of the seat is not way up higher than the other. Try to roll so that your left side sinks down. So imagine doing a sphinx with your hips anchored down. And eventually, maybe when the hips are down and heavy, your body, your belly, your pelvis will come down, your belly followed by your chest. If you're very low to the ground, you can take your left hand to the outside of the foot and bring your chest and your chin right down. So make sure your knee is not way falling out to the side like this. You want to have the foot underneath the knee, the heel underneath the knee. Alternatively, you don't want the leg like this. But of course, adjust according to your flexibility. You can even stay on your hands. Keep pulling your chest forward. Walk your hands a little bit further and further forward. The longer you stretch, or the further forward you stretch, the longer you make the body, the more the body will come closer to the ground. Then we're going to come back onto the hands. So for those, push your hips back, walk your left foot over to the right, and lower the knee down. Fall to your left a little bit so you can get your knee down, and then roll back to the right. Try to get more weight come into the right hip so the right hip sinks down. If you can't get your foot in the same line as the knee, you pull it in simply towards your hip. You take your hand to the right hand to the left foot, glide your left arm forward, and then maybe the right arm comes forward. If you're tilted to one side, your right hip is higher than the other one, tilt a little bit to your left, push into your left hand, and just see if you can pour more weight into the right hip. This pose is an expression of surrender, humbleness. Now coming back onto your hands. From here, pull the knee in, foot in towards the front hip. Come upright pigeon. Bring your hands onto your seat. Try to get your elbows to come towards them, and you can also take hold of your opposite elbows and push your arms into your seat. Allow the head to fall back between your shoulder blades. If you know the expressions of the pose, you can go ahead and you can take swan if you like. Bring a foot close to your shoulder, fingertips close to your ear, then bind your hands together, lift your upper arm up, and bring it to the other side of the head, and then see if you can push your foot back into the arm. This is a nice expression of the pose, swan. You want to push the foot away so that the arm looks like the swan's neck, no sharp folds in the elbow joint. Good, now release whatever variation you have. From here, if you want, if you know the variation, go into Vasisthasana with your Padma. You bring your left arm behind the back, take the big toe, push into your right hand and turn to your left, push off your hand, push off the edge of the foot and off the hip. You come into this variation here. That's for advanced practitioners. Otherwise, you just press into your hands, come into high plank, move your right hand more to your left and come into side plank. Vasisthasana. Try to get your arms and more or less a straight line from hand to hand. And from here, return the left hand down in front. Step your left foot forward. If you can go into Padivita Konasana without lowering the back knee, you can go ahead. The right arm up. And angle the toe knee towards the right so you can get your arm to the outside of the knee more easily. And then you can either take your hands in prayer, or do it this way. Your hands start at the shoulders and you push down, left hand is the right, the belly comes higher than the thigh, and then you have more room to spin. Roll the left shoulder back. If you know how to do a bind, you can take a bind. If you need to drop your knee down to the ground, that's good too. So just do progressions. This is still not attainable. You can stay upright. Right hand on the outside of the knee, left hand on the seat, and just turn your chest to your left as much as you can. Look over your left shoulder. Use the left hand to guide the tailbone down. Now from here, release wherever you are. Hands to the inside of the feet and walk your hands back to the center. Between your feet, come back up. Go the other way now. Go to your right. Sink down to the seat. Strong and steady like the warrior, chewing their intentions to protect and serve. Konasana, you can either start here. If your hip is high, if you don't have as much flexibility in your hip, you can stay in this pose like this. Make sure, again, your hip is not jutting up. Push it down. If you can, the right hand to the inside of the foot. You can use a block underneath your hand if you like. Left arm goes over the head. Or half bind. Hand slips in the thigh, just underneath your body. Your waist, left shoulder rolls back, or the full bind. The right shoulder press against the inside of the right knee and take your bind just beside your right hip. Break the pose, turn forward. Lower the knee down, facing forward, and slide your left toes back. Drop to your left. Try to get your left hip and your left forearm down. Roll back to the right. You can feel like you're doing a sphinx pose. Your hips anchored down. And then just pull the elbows back a little bit. Keep melting your heart down. So usually we start your sphinx from down here. This is just going in reverse. If you have to stay on your hands, just stay on your hands, but imagine doing a cobra, your hips down. And when the hips are down, the pelvis comes down. The heaviness in the hips and the lower body eventually maybe the rest of the body will follow. Try to get your pelvis and your belly down, eventually your chest. Knee stays close to the shoulder. The gaze is forward and unblinking like a lizard. Imagine yourself in the body of a lizard. Tap into the consciousness. Be cool and just enjoy sunning yourself on a warm earth. Now, come back up. Getting ready for pigeon. Move your hips back. Slide your right foot to the left. Lean to the right. Try to get your knee and your hip down. Have your foot, if you can, on the same line as the knee, or adjust it as you need to, depending on your flexibility of the hips. And then just tip. Go from side to side. Try to get more weight to come into your left hip so the left from the hip comes down. Hold the foot with your left hand, and then slide your right arm forward. Maybe your belly will come right on, your chest will come right on your leg in front. Keep tipping towards your left, especially if your left hip is not all the way down. Keep on trying to imagine more weight from the right side pouring into your left to even them out. Stretch it out more. Come back. Bring your heel in a little bit more, so help with balance. Come upright. Now, if you're having trouble bouncing, you can also place a block underneath your right side of the seat, especially if you're trying to do any kind of variation. You can take your hands to your seat, push into your seat, pull down, take hold of your opposite elbows again, and just sink your arms into your seat. Push your chest up away from your seat and allow the head to fall back. Or you can try the swan again. Bring your knee a little bit forward so you can get your foot up close to the shoulder. Bring your fingers close to your ear so that when you take your bind, you find it has more easily. And then just tuck your chin in and just you can slide your arms to the right side of the head. And then push your foot away from the shoulder. Again, according to your abilities. Stretch out the arms a little bit. Now break the pose, pull the foot close to your shoulder again. If you have it, let it go. Now from here, if you want to try the Padmavasisthasana, you can. Bend the toes under the back foot. Wrap your right arm behind your back. Take hold of the big toe with your thumb and your index finger. And then turn to your right. Push off the left hand, the left hip, and the left edge of the foot. And come up. Or, again, you come up by sliding the right foot back. You can even stay here. Left hand from his shoulder. Or come into full Vasisthasana. Any variations you can go ahead, of course. Bring the hand back down into plank and bring the seat back. Right leg comes up, Ekapada Adho Mukha Savasana, and step the foot between the hands. Parivrtta Pashvakonasana. If you want again, you can keep your knee up as you go into the pose. Left arm comes up. Swoop down towards the right to your armpits on the outside of the knee. Hands in prayer. And as you push the right hand to the bottom hand, they come in front of the heart, center of the chest. The belly hard in the thigh, and then roll the right shoulder back. If you can take the bind, go ahead, use your left hand to assist the hand further through. Pull it out a little bit more, and then use the left hand to hold on to the right wrist. Or bring your knee down. Bend the toes under and a back foot. Make your legs look like a box. Right shoulder goes all the way back. Modify more if you need to by just coming straight, staying upright with your left hand on the outside of the knee, right hand on the seat as I showed before. break the pose. Bring your hands back on the inside of the foot. Walk your way back into the center. I'm going to do this way here as you can see. Arms out to the side, come all the way up. Bring your hands to the heart. From the heart, inhale up to the crown. Exhale back down to the heart. Keep sending love out to all beings everywhere. Easy Chakrasana. Bring your heels towards one another, toes pointing out beyond the edges of the mat. Hands on the seat and bend your knees. Look like you're sitting on a horse. Push into your hands into your seat and then push hips forward so the knees come over your toes. Push, pull down at the same time. If you're comfortable, allow the head to drop back. Slide one hand at a time down the back of the leg, just underneath the knee. And then at that point, it's easier to control the legs. Roll the thighs outwards, roll the shins inwards. Press your heels, your palms firmly just underneath your knees. And eventually straighten your legs, but keep the outward thighs rolling outwards, the shins rolling inwards. More flexible, you can walk your hands all the way down. Some of you might be able to step on your fingers with your heels. Keep your hips forward. If you know how to get into Urdhva Dhanurasana, make sure you can see the floor first easily. Bend your knees more if you need to get your hands to come down more easily to the ground. Know your abilities. With practice, you learn lots of tricks to find your way into poses more easily. Now those of you who are in Urdhva Dhanurasana, come onto your fingertips. Push your hips forward again over your toes. Bring one hand to the back of the one leg, right hand stay to the right leg, just under the knee, and then the left hand. And then walk your way back up. Everybody does this now. Come back up. Arms out to the side. And then hinge forward. Prasarita Padottanasana. You can take hold of your ankles. You can step on your fingers with the edges of your feet. Extend to the crown. Exhale. Pull the head down between your feet. Your body comes right between your legs. Roll the thighs outwards, roll the shins inwards. Your feet, edges of your feet are parallel, straight. Not like a V anymore. Try to get your head further through between your legs, like you're trying to get your chest behind your knees. Now inhale, bring your body up, walk your hands forward. So option, if you're very flexible and go into side splits, you can walk your feet out and just go down. If you're not quite there yet, you can walk your hands forward, bring your knees down, frog. Okay, so then try to get your seat down about the same lines as knees. If you want more sensation, be mindful again. Don't go to a place of pain or suffering. Don't force yourself into a place that's going to bring you there. You bring your seat back towards your heels and curl the tail under. If you're very flexible, and slide your feet out on either side. Try to come down lower. If you get all the way down, you can go down and then bring your belly down. In all the poses, there is a time to be still. In that stillness, all the mind restlessness stops. The physical body is still, the emotions are under control. You find tranquility. This is what helps remove cravings and desires that lead to attachments, that lead to suffering. So to come back, start to make your way back. So walk back if you're in frog. If you're in splits, push into your hands. And then walk one foot back a little bit at a time, and then the other one, that's from that, and then walk your feet back to comfortable distance. Arms out to the side and come all the way back up. Good. Hands back to the heart. Breathe in. from the heart up to the space between your eyebrows this time. Exhale back down to the heart. May all actions, thoughts, and words always come from a place of love and compassion. So from here, arms out, jump your feet together, arms by sides, stand tall like a mountain, Tadasana. Good. And now from here, let's come down onto the knees. All right, we're going to start off with hare pose. And those who are not comfortable coming up to the full headstand can stay in hare pose. You bring your forehead down in front of the knees. And lift your seat up as much as you can. If you can get your hips over your knees, you'll be coming up to the back of the head and you feel a stretch on the back of the neck. If it's too much, then you can just move your head forward and once top of the head. But you're very flexible in your neck. You bend your neck, it feels like you're going to plow. You can even take your feet up and so you can roll forward. Might be better if you bring your hands beside your head so you don't lose your balance. Okay, so just try to come all the way as you're about to go onto your back. Okay. You do on your forearms too. A little bit easier still, you have more weight to distribute along your weight. Just try to go as far as you can and then come back. And come back into child's pose, breathe in. Breathe out. Now from here, you can do the same thing, or you can come into headstand of any choice If you want, you can try this one with your elbows. Go ahead if you have a headstand practice, you know what you're doing, go ahead. And of course, if you can do a lotus, you do a lotus and just try to find stillness. This makes your mind more one-pointed. You can take hold of your opposite elbows underneath your shoulders, interlace your fingers, and place your head between your palms. Lift up your seat, walk your feet towards the elbows, and then just lift your heels up and down. Push the forearms into the ground as you're lifting your heels, and then you won't feel as much pressure on the head. Squeeze the heels of your palms into your sides of your head. If you feel comfortable, bring one leg back behind. Allow the foot to hang heavily towards the seat. This is important. Keep your legs close to your body when you're first starting. Flex your feet as well. Bend your toes back. And then hold your breath. See if you can peel your toes up off the mat. You flick your toes away from the ground. So you're not jumping up. You don't have to jump. Even if your feet are way back here. So just lift your heel as much as you can, and then see if you can glide your toes in a little bit. Maybe lift your toes up. So always gradual, no fast, abrupt, jerky movements. Move gracefully. Eventually, if you keep pushing back through that foot that's behind you, your feet might end up at the same height as your hips. Keep your legs, again, your thighs, your knees very bent. It's easier to hold your balance if you're compact. If you get comfortable with that, you can see if you can switch your legs, move your legs around, try not to lose your balance. Keep pushing the heels of your palms into the head, and keep pushing your forearms into the ground. Again, don't do crazy, really fast, abrupt movements. That's going to throw you off balance. Good. One more minute to experiment. If you want, you can do your lotus, like I said. Push your knees up. Good. Those you didn't find your way into this one might even do teddy bear. Your head down, your hands in front where you can see them, not beside your head. Your arms should be 90-degree angles from upper arm to forearm. Bring your hips up as close as possible to the shoulder, over your shoulders, and then just rest your shins just from the knees against your elbows. And then again, you can flick your toes up away from the ground. Tap one foot at a time. Eventually, press at your hands. You might be able to get your feet up and move knees in closer to your shoulders. Make your way down wherever you are at. Come down gracefully and slowly. And once you're down, child's pose. Forehead on the ground. Breathe in. Breathe out. Relax everything. Now, shoulder stand, the mother of all the poses. I'll just show the entry for those of you who are able to do as you can. Again, be very respectful of your limitations. Know your abilities. So if you feel you can do it from just as we did from that exercise of bending your neck, you have to have a flexible neck. You do slide forward, arms forms on the ground, lift your seat up. So you have to really press into your arms. Move your elbows out a little bit. Keep pressing into your arms. Tuck your chin in. And then see you can get your upper back onto the ground. Nice and slow. Okay, and then your hands on your back. Your plow, and good. Position to come up into shoulder stand from here. So if that is too much for your neck, you just start at the top of the mat. You just roll back. Push down into your arms and send your feet behind your head. Move your hands together. Push your shoulders behind your body and your arms. You can't spin from the front. And then you bring your hands on the back. And then it's easier to lift one leg at a time. So bring one leg up. Extend your toes up. Try to have your toes over your chin. And then the other one comes up to join it. You can always stay with your legs closer to the ground if you need to. If your elbows don't come all the way behind your back, you can your shape might look more like this. Just do according to your condition. If it's too much, still do bridge pose. Heels down, close to your seats, and lift your hips. Pull your shoulders again behind, underneath, and lift your chest up close to your chin. This is almost the same shape. Your chest looks like a wall. If you need a block to support you underneath your seat, you can do that as well. Okay, so wherever you're at, make your way up. Once you're in a pose, leave the body by itself. Keep your attention on the space between your eyebrows. Quite often, it is the mental concentration that is more difficult than the physical execution of the pose. If you have a lotus, you can do your lotus, and it helps to make the mind even more one-pointed. Keep trying to get your knees over your hips, on the same line as your hips, knees in the same line as your chin. Try to keep your attention with the space between the eyebrows, a seat of divine perception, to trigger divine bliss. Now, if you have a lotus, you can bring your lotus down onto your body. If you can take your blindfold and real pose, go ahead. You wrap your arms around the outsides of the legs. You join your hands underneath your seat and you pull your knees right on either side of your head. If you don't have a lotus, come back into plow. Walk your feet as far away from the head as you can to get the maximum back stretch. If your feet don't come down, keep your hands on the back. Pushing on your hips a little bit gently. Your feet might come down now. Your hips over your shoulders. Those you want. You can bring your thighs down against the body and the knees on either side of the head. Right on the shoulders. Maybe eventually right on the ground. Nothing to do. Know where to go, but deeper within, beyond the body, the mind, and the emotions. You are none of these. Good. Now from here, making your way down. Hands behind your back, palms down, index fingers and thumb tips are touching and the index fingers are touching. Hands flat on the ground and start to roll your way out. Keep your legs close to the body, keep your legs straight if you can. And once the seat lands on your wrists, keep bringing your legs down. Stop when you're about 45 degrees from the ground. And then push into your hands, lift your back up off the ground so your body looks like the letter V, more or less. Now you can stay here, push your elbows in a little bit, push your chest up, try to get the top head to the ground. If you need to modify, you bring your legs down. If you can go further, you bring your hands just together in front of your knees and your arms in the same angle as the legs. Last streak of breath, breathe very fast in the nose. Bring your feet down, keep your head where it is. Your feet close to the seat. Urdhva Dhanurasana for those who are able. Bring your fingertips beside and a little in front of the head. Palms facing towards you. Lift your seat up and push into your fingertips. Bring your head back a little bit closer to your heels. Then turn your hands around. Your fingers are facing towards the heels now. Your fingers slightly pointed out as well. And then you can stay here on your head or take half breath in and push your head up. Urdhva Dhanurasana. If it's too much, do bridge pose. Shoulders and the back head stay on the mat, and then just lift your seat up. Try to get your chest close to your chin. Now, if you're in Urdhva Dhanurasana, you can do whatever you want here. Lift your heels, rock back and forth if you like. Try to get your hands closer to your feet. Arms and legs eventually straighten. Lower the heels down, lower the head down, and relax on your back. Once you're on your back, breathe in, breathe out. Sigh out through the mouth, imagine you're fainting. Like, go unconscious for about 10 seconds, or feel like you're going unconscious for 10 seconds. Drop all the efforts out. Now from here, arms up over the head and go back up to seated position. Starting off with compass pose. Left leg extends. Take the right foot in your right hand and just swing it back and forth like a door swinging on its hinge. Bring the foot out and then bring it in. If you can, you can get the foot in the crook of the arm and then bring your elbow just underneath the knee and try to keep your foot on the same line as the knee. Push your leg against the chest. Stay tall, try not to hunch the back. Keep pushing your lower back up and in, extend up through the crown. And now bring the foot up, see if you can touch your forehead with your heel. Doesn't matter if you can't. Not important, just do your best. Bring the foot out, hold the foot and push it behind you. Good. Now from here, bring your knee back, bring the right arm in front of the knee. So it's sitting in the back of the knee here, and here if you can use a strap if you like. If you have a strap, you can take your foot around a strap and try to pull it up over the head, compass pose. Keep pushing the shoulder back. If you can use your hands, you can either take hold of the bottom of the heel and push it up, or reach around to the front and take the outer edge. Now again, the tendency here sometimes to hunch. Try to push the foot back, the leg back behind the shoulder, open up instead. You telescope the body out of the hips. Now fold the leg down on the arm. Lean forward, press your hands down into the mat, slide your left heel in, hold your breath, and see if you can push your seat up off the mat. Engage your core muscles. And then from here, see if you can bring your other foot up. Sometimes it's easier, however, you cross your left foot over the right. Lean forward, push into your hands. Your seat has to go back. You're trying to bring your body parallel to the ground. Eventually you can shoot your legs out, Ashtavakasana. Okay, and then back. Try it on the other side now. Left leg goes out and in front. Bring the leg across the chest. Push the shin right against the chest if you can. The elbows underneath the knee. Keep pulling your knee up, your leg up so it comes close to the throat. Eventually maybe your foot will be in line with the knee. And bring the foot out. And so you can push the foot back underneath your arm, behind your back a few times. Get as far back as you can so you're trying to touch the ground and behind your back. And keep your knee back as you take your left arm forward, and then your arm goes just in the inside of the knee, the back of the knee. And from here, again, see if you can turn your hand around, fingers facing out. Take your hands to the bottom of the heel and then lift, or across the top, or take a strap. Then again, try to take all the wrinkles out of the side body, out of the waist. Telescope your chest up, push your lower back up and in. Fold the leg over the arm, lean forward, slide your left heel in. So from the side, your fingers are roughly in line with your knee. Push into your hands, lean forward, and then lift your seat up by straightening your arms. Hold your breath and see if you can get your right leg up, your right heel up off the ground, or use your right hand to push the foot's ankles and lock together, and you're pushing with the base of toes as well. Lean forward again, bring your head forward, push into your hands, your shoulders come over your fingertips, and then your seat will come up. And then if you bend your elbows and you lean forward, try to get your body level with the ground, Ashtavakasana. You shoot your legs out to the side. And come back. Good, now from here, separate your feet about the width of the mat and slide your arms underneath. Take all the edges of feet, try to get your chest down, your shoulders down on the inside and below the knees and below the knees, lower than the knees. Try to get eventually your belly on the ground, your chest and your chin. If you know Krimasana, you don't have to waste your time. Make sure your feet are not as far apart, just a little bit wide in the shoulders. A little bit easier to take your arms where they need to be, close to your hips, so your legs come over your shoulders. Then the elbows will be free. You can find your way into your bind on your back. Pose, coming back. Good. Now from here, bench pose. Bring heels in, hands facing back, fingers facing back. Lift your hips. Try to get your chest higher than the shoulders. Let your head go back. Bhastrika breath. chin in. From here, make your way up into standing. Rolling your way up. Good. Let's warm up with Easy Chakrasana first. Toes out to the side, hands on your seat. Again, bend your knees. Push your hips forward, your knees come over your toes. And if you feel comfortable, walk your hands down, the backs of your legs. Eventually, push the heels of your palms just underneath your knees. Your hips lift up and your hips go forward. It should sort of look like you're doing a cobra pose, really, like you're just doing it standing. Many of the poses are very similar, just in a different orientation. And you can walk your hands down. Maybe so you can touch again bring your fingers underneath your heels. Walk your way back. Good. Now from here, angel pose. Right foot slides back, arms out, and make as you're trying to bring your hands towards another behind the back. Lift the chest, bring your head back. If you feel comfortable, hold your breath, press into your left foot, float the right foot above the ground. Say this pose, I'm yours at your service. Grant me higher devotion. Break the pose. Do it on the other foot now. Right foot forward, left foot slides back. Arms out to the height of the shoulders and pull them back. Open up the chest completely. Lift the gaze, allow the head to drop back between your shoulder blades. And you can stay there with the toe on the ground, or if you feel comfortable, really press your corners of your feet into the mat and raise the left toes up off the ground. Feel like you're flying. Those great wings. Break the pose. One more. Dancer, if you can do it with both hands, you can. Bring the right foot up. Take hold of the foot. You can keep your thighs close together. Your arm comes up over the head. And then if you want, you can bring your left arm forward and try to push the foot back into your hand. Foot the height of the head. If you want, you can take your left hand back. So you can come into standing bow. Be very flexible. You can try to take hold of the knee, close to the knee. And you can do it this way with one hand forward, legs straight. Or you can try it with both Devandasana. Walk your hand, left hand towards the inside of the leg. And then see if you can get your legs straighter. Pull the foot closer to the seat. Come out. Try it on the other foot now. Raise your right knee up. Left knee. Take hold of the foot. Just stand tall here. This is an option. Still an option. Otherwise, take your right hand forward and bring your left foot up. Thigh level to the ground. Of course, do your variations as you can do your dancer pose. Lean forward a little bit. Or you can take both hands, standing bow. Yeah, lots of different options. Be inspired by all the different forms in nature and try to imitate them. Soon, eventually, all forms, you become as comfortable in them, those forms, as you are in your own body. Break the pose, pull the foot towards you. Release. So from here, sit down. Legs extended. Just keep your legs out in front, both of them. Left hand to the outside of the right shin, close the ankle, other hand just behind the back. If you want, you can snake your hand around and press your hand into your left thigh if you like. Right the hip crease. Inhale, push the lower back up and in. Exhale, turn to the right. Try to get your shoulders flush with the long edge of the mat. Feel the rotation starting at the base of the hips, spiraling all the way upwards. And then your shoulders eventually turn, your chin as well. Make sure your heels are not falling out of line with one another. They should be together. Come back, go the other way. Lean forward a little bit so you can get your hand to the outside of the shin as opposed to just here. You're not really going to be able to twist very much. You'll have very much movement. So you want to also, if you bring your hand a little bit further forward, it helps to lengthen the spine a little bit. If your left hand is on your right thigh, use the heel of the palm to roll the thigh outwards. Again, make sure that the heel, one heel is not lagging the other one. Shoulders back, chest flush with the long side of the mat. Release, lie down on your back. A few moments. Make your way down gently. Allow your feet to just fall away from one another. Your arms beside your body, separate from the body about a foot or so, palms facing up. Take a deep breath in. Gather up all the tension in your body. Exhale, just let it funnel right out of the body. Drop it right out. Inhale. Do a mental scan. See if you can encounter any negative thoughts or experiences that are causing you grief or distress. Bring them all to the center of your being. Exhale, just funnel it out again. Let it all go. Inhale. Do a scan of your emotions. If you find any negative ones, sadness, or fear, or anger, disappointment, doubt, bring them all to the center. Gather them all up. Exhale, just drop it all out. Be rid of all that heaviness, the mental, physical, and the emotional heaviness. Feel light now. Like an empty vessel ready to receive. As you inhale, bring in the best of the best. All the benefits now coming to you as a result of offering up your practice. As a result of just doing the practice, you receive all those benefits. Exhale, flood your whole being with them. Inhale again, bring in more what you need to feel fulfilled, to feel empowered, to feel grounded, content. Exhale again, flood your whole being with it. Once again, inhale, bring in everything you need, which is in effect probably what everyone else needs. All those qualities that you're trying to cultivate to a deeper extent, to come closer to your true nature, just boundless in its potential. Exhale, flood yourself with it. As you inhale, attract all that you brought to the spiritual heart located in the center of the chest, again, right side of the physical heart, the residing place of the highest self of God. Exhale as God is equally present in all beings. Send it out to all beings. All those benefits go everywhere. 2 more times. On your own. Inhale, draw in everything that you took in. Bring it all to the center, chest, the spiritual heart. Exhale. Imagine it going everywhere. 1 more time. Inhale into the spiritual heart, everything. That all beings need. Exhale, imagine it going out to all beings. Now repeat to yourself the following sentence 3 times to ingrain this idea in your mind and in your heart. The goal is self-realization. And it's not only again for yourself, it's to help bring others too. So stay strong in your mission, stay devoted to the practice in order to put yourself in a more able position to be able to help others. Divine act of service, divine act of love. Now, prepare to come back into a seated position. Make your way there now. Mindfully, quietly, reverently. Sit straight and tall and supreme. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Be receptive to the divine grace within. Namaste. Thank you so much for coming. Have a wonderful day. Much love to you all.